J-Cat in the world of hip-hop. J-Cat leaned back in his green Jaguar 220XJ, taking in the vibrant sights and sounds of New York City. The city was a stark contrast to the usual haunts of the Mediterranean and European high society, but it had its own unique allure. His latest adventure had brought him to the heart of the hip-hop world, a scene pulsing with raw energy and creativity. J-Cat was not one to back down from a challenge. When he received a message from an old friend, DJ Blaze, he knew he had to answer the call. Blaze, a legendary figure in the hip-hop community, had stumbled upon a sinister plot that threatened the very essence of the culture. Someone was using the music scene to launder money and manipulate the industry from the shadows. J-Cat's first stop was Blaze's studio in Brooklyn. The studio was a hive of activity, with artists laying down tracks, producers mixing beats, and graffiti artists tagging the walls with colorful murals. Blaze greeted J-Cat with a warm handshake and a knowing smile. "J-Cat, it's been too long," Blaze said, his voice a deep, melodic baritone. "I knew if anyone could help, it would be you." J-Cat nodded. "I'm here to help, Blaze. Tell me everything." Blaze led J-Cat to a secluded corner of the studio, away from prying ears. He explained that a mysterious figure known only as the Phantom had been using the hip-hop scene to funnel millions of dollars through record deals, concerts, and endorsements. Artists were being threatened, forced into shady contracts, and some had even gone missing. "The Phantom's got everyone scared," Blaze said. "But not us. We're going to take him down." The investigation led J-Cat and Blaze deep into the heart of the hip-hop world. They attended underground battles, mingled with artists at exclusive parties, and followed the money trail through the labyrinthine network of promoters and producers. Along the way, they encountered a host of colorful characters, each with their own stories and struggles. One night, while attending a high-profile album release party, J-Cat met Lyric, a rising star with a voice that could move mountains. She had the talent and charisma to become a legend, but she was also caught in the Phantom's web. As J-Cat and Lyric talked, he sensed her desperation and determination. "I can't let them control me," Lyric said, her eyes filled with defiance. "I just want to make music that matters." J-Cat felt a deep connection with Lyric's plight. He vowed to help her break free from the Phantom's grasp. Together, they devised a plan to expose the Phantom's operations. Using Blaze's studio as their base, they gathered evidence, recorded conversations, and tracked the flow of money. The climax of their mission took place at a massive hip-hop festival in Central Park. The event was packed with fans, artists, and industry insiders. It was the perfect stage to unveil the Phantom's schemes. J-Cat, Blaze, and Lyric coordinated their efforts, ready to make their move. As Lyric took the stage, the crowd erupted in cheers. Her performance was electrifying, her voice captivating every soul in the park. But as the final beats of her song echoed through the night, J-Cat stepped forward, microphone in hand. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice carrying an authority that demanded attention, "there's something you all need to know. The music we love is under attack, and it's time we fight back." With the crowd's attention riveted, J-Cat laid bare the Phantom's sinister plot. Screens around the stage lit up with images and recordings, exposing the corruption and manipulation that had plagued the industry. The revelation sent shockwaves through the audience. The Phantom, realizing his empire was crumbling, tried to flee. But J-Cat and Blaze were ready. In a dramatic confrontation backstage, they cornered the Phantom, revealing him to be a powerful executive who had exploited his position for personal gain. The festival erupted in cheers as the Phantom was led away in handcuffs. Justice had been served, and the hip-hop community was free from his oppressive influence. Lyric's performance, coupled with the truth J-Cat had exposed, became the talk of the city. In the aftermath, J-Cat, Blaze, and Lyric stood together, reflecting on their victory. The bonds they had forged in the heat of battle were unbreakable. They knew that the fight for justice and artistic freedom was never truly over, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the sun set over the New York skyline, J-Cat felt a sense of fulfillment. He had entered the world of hip-hop and emerged victorious, not just as a hero, but as a friend and ally to those who dare to dream. The rhythm of the city, the heartbeat of its people, had left an indelible mark on his soul. And he knew that, no matter where his adventures took him next, the spirit of hip-hop would always be a part of him. With a final nod to Blaze and Lyric, J-Cat climbed into his green Jaguar and drove off into the night, ready for his next adventure. As J-Cat drove through the neon-lit streets of New York City, the energy of the night pulsed through him. The success of their mission against the Phantom was a victory for the entire hip-hop community, and it solidified his reputation as a protector of the vulnerable and a champion of justice. But the world of hip-hop had more to offer, and J-Cat was not one to rest on his laurels. Word of his exploits had spread like wildfire, and soon, his name was whispered in recording studios, street corners, and backstage areas across the city. He became a legend, an enigmatic figure who had come from the world of high society to defend the heart of urban culture. One evening, as J-Cat sipped on a cocktail in an exclusive rooftop bar overlooking the city, he received a call from Lyric. Her voice was tinged with excitement and urgency. "J-Cat, you need to come to Harlem," she said. "There's someone you need to meet. Trust me, it's important." Intrigued, J-Cat finished his drink and headed to Harlem. The neighborhood was alive with music, art, and culture. It was a place where history and modernity intertwined, and where the roots of hip-hop ran deep. Lyric was waiting for him outside a bustling club. She led him inside, where the atmosphere was electric. The walls were adorned with vibrant graffiti, and the air was filled with the rhythmic beats of live performances. On stage, a young rapper named Ty was delivering a powerful and poignant performance, his lyrics resonating with the struggles and dreams of the audience. After the show, Lyric introduced J-Cat to Ty. The young artist was humble, yet his eyes shone with passion and determination. "Ty's got a message that needs to be heard," Lyric explained. "But he's been getting threats from a new player in the game, someone trying to silence him." Ty nodded. "They call him the broker. He's got connections, money, and he's not afraid to use force to get what he wants. I've seen friends get hurt because they wouldn't play by his rules." J-Cat listened intently. He could see the fire in Ty's eyes, the same fire he had seen in Lyric's. It was a fire that couldn't be extinguished, not by threats or violence. He knew he had to help. "We'll take care of it," J-Cat said, his voice steady and reassuring. "The broker won't silence you or anyone else. We'll expose him for what he is." The next few days were a whirlwind of action and strategy. J-Cat, Lyric, and Ty formed a tight-knit team, using their combined skills and connections to gather information on the broker. They discovered that he was using a network of clubs, promoters, and even law enforcement to control the music scene and intimidate those who resisted. One night, J-Cat received a tip that the broker would be attending a secret meeting at a luxurious penthouse in the city. It was an opportunity they couldn't miss. Disguised and armed with recording devices, J-Cat infiltrated the gathering, blending seamlessly with the crowd of influential figures. The penthouse was a showcase of opulence, with panoramic views of the city and lavish decor. As J-Cat moved through the room, he overheard conversations that confirmed the broker's nefarious activities. He discreetly recorded the discussions, gathering the evidence needed to bring him down. As the night progressed, J-Cat found himself face to face with the broker. The man was suave, charismatic, and dangerous. He exuded an air of confidence that belied the fear he instilled in others. But J-Cat was unfazed. "You think you can control the music, the people, their voices," J-Cat said, his tone icy. "But you're wrong. You can't silence the truth." The broker's smile faltered. "And who are you to challenge me?" J-Cat's eyes locked onto the broker's. "I'm J-Cat. And your time is up." In a swift and coordinated move, Lyric and Ty, who had been waiting outside, triggered the alarms and called in reinforcements. The penthouse erupted in chaos as law enforcement stormed in, arresting the broker and his associates. The evidence J-Cat had gathered was more than enough to ensure their downfall. The news of the broker's arrest sent ripples through the hip-hop community. Artists who had been living in fear began to speak out, inspired by Ty's bravery and J-Cat's intervention. The music scene in New York thrived once more, free from the shadows of corruption and intimidation. As J-Cat, Lyric, and Ty celebrated their victory, they knew their work was far from over. There would always be new challenges, new threats to face. But they also knew that together, they could overcome anything. One evening, as they sat on the rooftop of Blaze's studio, overlooking the city that never slept, Lyric turned to J-Cat. "What's next for you, J-Cat?" she asked. He smiled, a glint of determination in his eyes. "Wherever there's a call for justice, for truth, for protecting those who can't protect themselves, that's where I'll be." Ty raised his glass in a toast. To J-Cat, the guardian of the hip-hop world. They clinked their glasses, the bonds of friendship and shared purpose stronger than ever. J-Cat's journey had brought him into the heart of a vibrant and dynamic culture, and in doing so, he had found a new home, a new mission, and new allies. As the city lights sparkled below them, J-Cat knew that his adventures were far from over. The world was vast, full of stories waiting to be told and battles waiting to be fought. And he was ready for whatever came next. As dawn approached and the vibrant city began to stir, J-Cat felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. New York City, with its pulsating energy and creative spirit, had revealed a new chapter in his journey. But he knew there were always more stories to uncover, more people to help, and more adventures to undertake. The following weeks saw J-Cat entrenched in the hip-hop scene. He worked closely with Lyric and Ty, supporting them as they navigated the complexities of their newfound freedom. They collaborated on music projects, organized community events, and used their platform to inspire others. J-Cat's influence extended beyond his typical world of high fashion and luxury. He had become a mentor and a protector in a realm that thrived on authenticity and resilience. One evening, as they were wrapping up a recording session at Blaze's studio, Blaze approached J-Cat with a proposal. "J-Cat, there's an opportunity to expand our reach," Blaze said. "I know someone in Los Angeles who runs a major record label. They're interested in what we're doing here and want to collaborate." J-Cat raised an eyebrow. "Los Angeles, huh? Sounds intriguing. What do you have in mind?" Blaze explained that the record label, Urban Pulse, wanted to host a series of events on the West Coast, bringing together artists from different backgrounds to create a powerful fusion of music and culture. It was an ambitious project, but one that had the potential to make a significant impact. "I'm in," J-Cat said without hesitation. "Let's take this to the next level." The team packed their bags and headed to Los Angeles, the city of dreams and endless possibilities. Upon arrival, they were greeted by Urban Pulse's CEO, Mia Rodriguez, a visionary leader with a passion for music and social change. "Welcome to LA, Mia said, her smile warm and genuine. "I've heard so much about you, J-Cat. It's an honor to work with someone who's made such a difference." J-Cat shook her hand. "The honor is mine, Mia. Let's create something unforgettable." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. They organized a series of concerts, workshops, and community outreach programs, bringing together artists from across the country. The events were a huge success, drawing massive crowds and generating buzz throughout the industry. One evening, after a particularly electrifying concert at the Hollywood Bowl, J-Cat found himself on a rooftop overlooking the city. The view was breathtaking, the city lights stretching out to the horizon. As he stood there, reflecting on the journey so far, he was joined by Mia. "It's amazing what we've accomplished," Mia said, her voice filled with pride. "But I have a feeling this is just the beginning." J-Cat nodded. "You're right. There's so much more we can do. Music has the power to unite, to heal, to inspire. And we need to keep pushing those boundaries." Their conversation was interrupted by a phone call from Lyric. She sounded excited and a little breathless. "J-Cat, you need to get back to the venue. Something big is happening." Curious, J-Cat and Mia rushed back to the Hollywood Bowl. When they arrived, they found the place buzzing with activity. Ty was on stage, holding up a large check and addressing the crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen," Ty announced, "thanks to your support, we've raised enough money to open a new community center right here in LA. This will be a place where young artists can come to learn, create, and grow. It's our way of giving back to the community that has given us so much." The crowd erupted in cheers, and J-Cat felt a swell of pride. This was why he did what he did. It wasn't just about the thrill of the adventure or the glamour of the lifestyle, it was about making a real difference in people's lives. As the night drew to a close, J-Cat, Mia, Lyric, and Ty stood together, looking out over the crowd. They had come a long way, but their journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, battles to fight, and dreams to realize. "To the future," Mia said, raising her glass in a toast. "To the future," J-Cat echoed, clinking his glass with theirs. As they celebrated their success, J-Cat knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter. The world of hip-hop had welcomed him with open arms, and he was ready to embrace whatever came next. With his friends by his side and a mission to protect and inspire, J-Cat was prepared for any adventure that lay ahead. The sun set over Los Angeles, casting a golden hue across the city. J-Cat and his friends knew their mission was only beginning. With the success of their latest venture, they were ready to push the boundaries even further and make an even bigger impact on the communities they touched. One day, while brainstorming future projects, J-Cat received an unexpected call. It was from an old acquaintance, Isabella, a renowned art curator based in Paris. She spoke with an urgency that piqued his interest. "J-Cat, I need your help," Isabella said. "There's an art heist in the works, and the stolen pieces are being used to fund a dangerous underground organization. We need to stop them." Intrigued by the challenge and the chance to protect cultural treasures, J-Cat agreed to meet Isabella in Paris. He explained the situation to his friends, who were eager to join him on this new adventure. Arriving in Paris, J-Cat was reminded of the city's timeless charm and romantic allure. He and his team met Isabella at a chic cafe near the Louvre. She was elegant and composed, but the worry in her eyes was unmistakable. "The heist is set to take place at a high-profile charity auction," Isabella explained. "The pieces will be replaced with forgeries, and the real ones will disappear without a trace. We have to prevent this." J-Cat, always meticulous in his planning, quickly devised a strategy. They would attend the auction, blend in with the elite crowd, and keep a close watch on the artworks and potential thieves. On the night of the auction, J-Cat donned a sleek black tuxedo, embodying sophistication and confidence. Lyric and Ty, equally stylish, accompanied him as they entered the opulent venue. The room was filled with wealthy patrons, art enthusiasts, and influential figures, all admiring the masterpieces on display. As the auction commenced, J-Cat scanned the room, noting the security personnel and identifying potential suspects. He recognized a few shady characters, their eyes darting nervously as they tried to blend in. J-Cat discreetly signaled to Lyric and Ty, who positioned themselves strategically to keep an eye on the targets. The bidding was fierce, with prices soaring for the rare and valuable pieces. But as the auction progressed, J-Cat noticed something peculiar. A group of well-dressed individuals seemed unusually focused on one particular painting, a priceless Van Gogh. Using his charm, J-Cat engaged one of the bidders in conversation, subtly probing for information. It didn't take long for him to confirm his suspicions. This was the group planning the heist. They had a complex scheme to swap the painting with a high-quality forgery during a staged distraction. J-Cat relayed the information to his team, and they quickly formulated a counterplan. As the auctioneer called for a short intermission, J-Cat approached the stage, feigning interest in the Van Gogh. Meanwhile, Ty created a minor commotion near the entrance, drawing the security's attention. In the chaos, Lyric managed to slip behind the scenes, swapping the forgery with the real painting. It was a risky maneuver, but they executed it flawlessly. When the auction resumed, the thieves were none the wiser. As the final bids were placed and the auction came to a close, J-Cat and his team discreetly followed the thieves to their hideout, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Paris. Isabella had arranged for the police to be on standby, ready to move in once they had solid evidence. Inside the warehouse, the thieves celebrated their successful heist, unaware that they had been outsmarted. J-Cat, Lyric, and Ty observed from the shadows, recording their conversations and gathering the necessary proof. Once they had enough, J-Cat signaled to the police, who stormed the building and apprehended the criminals. The stolen artworks were recovered, and the thieves were taken into custody. The next day, headlines across Paris lauded the heroes who had thwarted the heist and saved priceless cultural treasures. J-Cat, ever the enigma, remained in the background, satisfied with a job well done. Isabella thanked J-Cat and his team profusely. "You have no idea how much this means to the art world. You've saved our history." J-Cat smiled. "It's what we do, Isabella. We're always ready to protect what's important." With their mission in Paris complete, J-Cat and his friends took a moment to enjoy the city's beauty. They strolled along the Seine, visited iconic landmarks, and indulged in exquisite French cuisine. The bonds between them grew stronger, forged by their shared adventures and unwavering dedication to justice. As they prepared to leave Paris, J-Cat received another message, this time from a tech mogul in Tokyo facing a different kind of threat. Intrigued, he knew it was time to embark on the next chapter of their journey. Standing on the steps of the Sacré-Cœur, J-Cat gazed out over the city of lights, feeling a sense of purpose and anticipation. The world was full of challenges, mysteries, and injustices, but with his loyal friends by his side, J-Cat was ready to face them all. "To new adventures," he said, raising an imaginary glass. "To new adventures," Lyric and Ty echoed, their voices filled with excitement. Together, they descended the steps, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in Tokyo and beyond. The legend of J-Cat would continue to grow, one thrilling adventure at a time. Arriving in Tokyo, J-Cat, Lyric, and Ty were immediately struck by the city's blend of traditional culture and cutting-edge technology. Neon lights, towering skyscrapers, and bustling streets created an electric atmosphere. They met with Kenji Saito, a tech mogul who had reached out to JCat for help. Kenji's company, Saito Innovations, was a pioneer in AI and robotics, but recently, they had become the target of a cyber-espionage ring. "Thank you for coming," Kenji said, his expression a mix of relief and concern. "Our latest project, an advanced AI system, has been compromised. If it falls into the wrong hands, it could be catastrophic." JCat nodded. "We'll get to the bottom of this, Kenji. Do you have any leads?" Kenji led them to a high-tech control room, where screens displayed complex codes and data streams. "We traced the cyber attacks to a mysterious hacker group known as the Black Lotus. They're highly skilled and operate out of the Tokyo underworld." JCat, ever the strategist, began formulating a plan. "We need to infiltrate their network and find out who's behind this. We'll start by visiting the tech hotspots and underground clubs where these hackers are known to gather." The team split up, each taking a different part of the city. JCat visited a renowned tech cafe in Akihabara, the epicenter of Tokyo's electronic culture. There, he engaged with local tech enthusiasts and gathered valuable intel. Meanwhile, Lyric and Tai explored the vibrant nightlife, blending in with the crowds at underground clubs and bars. Their efforts paid off when Lyric overheard a conversation between two hackers discussing a secret meeting. She relayed the information to JCat, and they decided to follow the leads. The meeting was set to take place in an abandoned warehouse in Shibuya, a district known for its energy and chaos. JCat and his team arrived early, setting up surveillance and preparing for whatever might unfold. As the hackers began to gather, it became clear that the Black Lotus was a formidable organization. JCat, dressed in his signature stylish attire, approached the meeting with confidence. Using his charm and wit, he managed to blend in, posing as a potential ally interested in their operations. He struck up a conversation with one of the leaders, a sharp-minded woman named Koro, who seemed intrigued by his presence. "We've heard of your exploits, JCat," Koro said, her eyes narrowing. "What brings you to our world?" JCat smiled. "I'm here to offer a proposition. With my resources and connections, we could achieve great things together." Koro seemed to consider his words, but her guarded demeanor suggested she was still wary. JCat needed to gain her trust, and fast. He subtly signaled to Lyric and Tai, who were monitoring the situation from a distance. As the night progressed, the hackers revealed their plans to use Saito Innovations AI to create a powerful, decentralized network capable of controlling vast amounts of data. It was a dangerous scheme that could disrupt global systems and put countless lives at risk. JCat knew he had to act quickly. Under the guise of a friendly gesture, he placed a small tracking device on Koro's laptop, ensuring they could monitor the Black Lotus's activities. He then excused himself, promising to return with more resources. Back at their base, JCat, Lyric, and Tai analyzed the data they had gathered. The tracking device provided real-time updates on the Black Lotus's movements and communications. They discovered that the group planned to launch their cyber attack from a secluded facility on the outskirts of Tokyo. "We need to shut them down before they can execute their plan," JCat said, his voice filled with determination. "We'll infiltrate the facility and disable their systems." The next day, they set out for the facility, armed with cutting-edge tech and a solid plan. The building was heavily guarded, but JCat's team used their skills to bypass security and gain entry. Inside, they navigated through a maze of corridors and high-tech rooms, finally reaching the central server hub. As they worked to disable the systems, an alarm sounded, alerting the hackers to their presence. A tense standoff ensued, with Koro and her team confronting JCat. "You betrayed us," Koro spat, her eyes blazing with anger. JCat stood his ground. "I never intended to join you. I'm here to stop you from causing global chaos." A fierce battle broke out, with JCat, Lyric, and Tai using their combined abilities to fend off the hackers. Despite the odds, they managed to hold their own, slowly gaining the upper hand. JCat reached the main server and initiated a shutdown sequence, effectively crippling the Black Lotus's operations. As the dust settled, Koro and her team were apprehended by the authorities, who had been tipped off by Kenji. The facility was secured, and the stolen data was recovered. Back at Saito Innovations, Kenji expressed his gratitude. "You saved us from a disaster, JCat. The world owes you a debt of thanks." JCat smiled modestly. "Just doing what we do best." With their mission in Tokyo complete, J-Cat and his friends took a moment to enjoy the city's vibrant culture. They visited historic temples, indulged in exquisite cuisine, and explored the bustling markets. The bonds between them grew stronger, fortified by their shared experiences and unwavering commitment to justice. As they prepared to leave Tokyo, J-Cat received another call, this time from an old friend in Mumbai facing a different kind of crisis. Intrigued, he knew it was time to embark on the next chapter of their journey. Standing on the steps of a Shinto shrine, J-Cat gazed out over the city, feeling a sense of purpose and anticipation. The world was full of challenges, mysteries, and injustices, but with his loyal friends by his side, J-Cat was ready to face them all. To new adventures, he said, raising an imaginary glass. To new adventures, Lyric and Tai echoed, their voices filled with excitement. Together, they descended the steps, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in Mumbai and beyond. The legend of J-Cat would continue to grow, one thrilling adventure at a time. Arriving in Mumbai, J-Cat, Lyric, and Tai were immediately enveloped by the city's vibrant energy. The bustling streets, colorful markets, and rich culture presented a new and exhilarating challenge. They met with Arjun Rao, a philanthropist and tech entrepreneur, who had reached out for their assistance. J-Cat, thank you for coming, Arjun said, shaking his hand firmly. We have a situation that requires your unique set of skills. There's a powerful crime syndicate infiltrating our city's tech industry. They've been sabotaging startups, extorting business owners, and spreading fear. J-Cat nodded. We'll get to the bottom of this, Arjun. Where do we start? Arjun led them to his headquarters, a sleek and modern building in the heart of Mumbai's tech district. He explained that the syndicate, known as the Crimson Tiger, was led by a ruthless figure named Vikram Patel. Vikram had a network of operatives who carried out his orders with precision and brutality. We need to gather evidence and take down Vikram's operation from the inside, Arjun said. But it's dangerous. He's well protected and always one step ahead. J-Cat, ever the strategist, began formulating a plan. We'll need to blend in, gain their trust, and find out where they're operating from. We'll start by visiting the tech hubs and nightlife spots where Vikram's men are known to gather. The team split up, each taking a different part of the city. J-Cat visited a cutting-edge co-working space, where he engaged with young entrepreneurs and tech enthusiasts, gathering valuable intel. Meanwhile, Lyric and Tai explored the vibrant nightlife, blending in with the crowds at upscale clubs and bars. Their efforts paid off when Tai overheard a conversation between two men discussing a high-stakes poker game hosted by Vikram. This was their chance to get close to him. J-Cat decided to enter the game, using his charm and strategic mind to win Vikram's trust. The poker game was held at an exclusive club in South Mumbai. J-Cat arrived, dressed impeccably in a tailored suit, exuding confidence and sophistication. The room was filled with Mumbai's elite, all eager to test their luck against Vikram. As the game progressed, J-Cat's skills became evident. He played with a calm demeanor, making calculated moves and reading his opponents effortlessly. Vikram, impressed by J-Cat's prowess, invited him to join his inner circle. You've got talent, Vikram said, clapping J-Cat on the back. We could use someone like you in our operations. J-Cat smiled. I'm always interested in lucrative opportunities. Over the next few days, J-Cat gained access to Vikram's world, learning about his operations and gathering crucial evidence. He discovered that Vikram was planning a major heist, targeting a high-tech research facility developing groundbreaking AI technology. The stolen tech would be sold on the black market, funding further criminal activities. J-Cat knew he had to act quickly. He relayed the information to Arjun and his team, who coordinated with local authorities to stage a sting operation. The goal was to catch Vikram and his men in the act, dismantling the syndicate from within. On the night of the heist, J-Cat and his team positioned themselves strategically around the research facility. Vikram and his men arrived, unaware of the trap set for them. As they began their break-in, J-Cat and his team moved in, coordinating with the authorities to surround the building. A fierce confrontation ensued, with J-Cat and his team using their combined skills to outmaneuver Vikram's operatives. Despite the odds, they managed to hold their own, slowly gaining the upper hand. J-Cat confronted Vikram, who was determined to fight to the bitter end. You've met your match, Vikram, J-Cat said, his voice steady. Vikram sneered. You think you've won? This is just the beginning. With a swift move, J-Cat disarmed Vikram, bringing him to the ground. The authorities moved in, apprehending Vikram and his men. The stolen technology was recovered, and the research facility was secured. Back at Arjun's headquarters, the team celebrated their success. Arjun expressed his gratitude. "You saved us from a disaster, J-Cat. Mumbai is safer because of you." J-Cat smiled modestly. "Just doing what we do best." With their mission in Mumbai complete, J-Cat and his friends took a moment to enjoy the city's vibrant culture. They visited historic sites, indulged in local cuisine, and explored the bustling markets. The bonds between them grew stronger, fortified by their shared experiences and unwavering commitment to justice. As they prepared to leave Mumbai, J-Cat received another call, this time from an old friend in Rio de Janeiro facing a different kind of crisis. Intrigued, he knew it was time to embark on the next chapter of their journey. Standing on the steps of the Gateway of India, J-Cat gazed out over the city, feeling a sense of purpose and anticipation. The world was full of challenges, mysteries, and injustices, but with his loyal friends by his side, J-Cat was ready to face them all. "To new adventures," he said, raising an imaginary glass. "To new adventures," Lyric and Tai echoed, their voices filled with excitement. Together, they descended the steps, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in Rio de Janeiro and beyond. The legend of J-Cat would continue to grow, one thrilling adventure at a time. Next episode. Arriving in Rio de Janeiro, J-Cat, Lyric, and Tai were immediately captivated by the city's vibrant culture and breathtaking landscapes. The energy of the carnival, the rhythm of samba music, and the stunning beaches painted a picture of paradise. However, their mission was anything but a vacation. Their contact in Rio, a renowned journalist named Camila Santos, greeted them at the airport. She was a fierce advocate for social justice, known for her exposés on corruption and crime in Brazil. "J-Cat, thank you for coming," Camila said, her expression serious. "There's a dangerous cartel operating in the favelas, exploiting the local communities and spreading fear. They're involved in everything from drug trafficking to human trafficking." J-Cat nodded. "We'll help you bring them down, Camila. Where do we start?" Camila led them to her office, where she explained the situation in detail. The cartel, known as the Silver Serpents, was led by a ruthless man named Hector Silva. He had connections in high places, making him a formidable adversary. "We need to gather evidence and expose Hector's operations to the world," Camila said. "But it's dangerous. He has spies everywhere." J-Cat, always the strategist, began formulating a plan. "We'll need to blend in, gain the trust of the locals, and find out where Hector's main operations are. We'll start by visiting the favelas and speaking to the community leaders." The team split up, each taking a different part of the city. J-Cat visited a community center in Rocinha, the largest favela in Rio. There, he engaged with local activists and gathered valuable intel. Meanwhile, Lyric and Tai explored the nightlife, blending in with the crowds at upscale clubs and bars. Their efforts paid off when Tai overheard a conversation between two men discussing a secret meeting with Hector. This was their chance to get close to him. J-Cat decided to attend the meeting, using his charm and strategic mind to win Hector's trust. The meeting was set to take place in a luxurious penthouse overlooking Copacabana Beach. J-Cat arrived, dressed impeccably in a tailored suit, exuding confidence and sophistication. The room was filled with Rio's elite, all eager to curry favor with Hector. As the night progressed, J-Cat's skills became evident. He engaged in conversations, making calculated moves and reading his opponents effortlessly. Hector, impressed by J-Cat's charisma and intelligence, invited him to join his inner circle. "You've got talent," Hector said, clapping J-Cat on the back. "We could use someone like you in our operations." J-Cat smiled. "I'm always interested in lucrative opportunities." Over the next few days, J-Cat gained access to Hector's world, learning about his operations and gathering crucial evidence. He discovered that Hector was planning a major shipment of illegal goods, set to be transported through the port of Rio. The operation would fund further criminal activities and tighten Hector's grip on the city. J-Cat knew he had to act quickly. He relayed the information to Camila and her team, who coordinated with local authorities to stage a sting operation. The goal was to catch Hector and his men in the act, dismantling the cartel from within. On the night of the shipment, J-Cat and his team positioned themselves strategically around the port. Hector and his men arrived, unaware of the trap set for them. As they began loading the goods, J-Cat and his team moved in, coordinating with the authorities to surround the area. A fierce confrontation ensued, with J-Cat and his team using their combined skills to outmaneuver Hector's operatives. Despite the odds, they managed to hold their own, slowly gaining the upper hand. J-Cat confronted Hector, who was determined to fight to the bitter end. "You've met your match, Hector," J-Cat said, his voice steady. Hector sneered. "You think you've won? This is just the beginning." With a swift move, J-Cat disarmed Hector, bringing him to the ground. The authorities moved in, apprehending Hector and his men. The illegal goods were seized, and the port was secured. Back at Camilla's office, the team celebrated their success. Camilla expressed her gratitude. "You saved us from a disaster, J-Cat. Rio is safer because of you." J-Cat smiled modestly. "Just doing what we do best." With their mission in Rio complete, J-Cat and his friends took a moment to enjoy the city's vibrant culture. They visited historic sites, indulged in local cuisine, and explored the bustling markets. The bonds between them grew stronger, fortified by their shared experiences and unwavering commitment to justice. As they prepared to leave Rio de Janeiro, J-Cat received another call, this time from an old friend in Venice, Italy, facing a different kind of crisis. Intrigued, he knew it was time to embark on the next chapter of their journey. Standing on the steps of the iconic Christ the Redeemer statue, J-Cat gazed out over the city, feeling a sense of purpose and anticipation. The world was full of challenges, mysteries, and injustices, but with his loyal friends by his side, J-Cat was ready to face them all. "To new adventures," he said, raising an imaginary glass. "To new adventures," Lyric and Ty echoed, their voices filled with excitement. Together, they descended the steps, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in Venice and beyond. The legend of J-Cat would continue to grow, one thrilling adventure at a time. The end of Part 1. To be continued.